I gotta turn that off. Otherwise it's distracting. Speaking of distractions, let me hit record over here. Oh, goodness. This gives me time to make sure that people will jump on. Okay. Preferences. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We will get started here momentarily. What? No, preferences. Stop. Okay, stop. Scarlet, yeah, okay. Sorry, I changed some settings. So I'm trying to unchange them, change them back, unchange them. Check. Automatic. I don't need that. Why is that not working? Hello, check. There it is. Hey. All right. Really good. Hang on. Dang it. I gotta pull that up on my computer. Hang on, guys. We're getting there. I gotta hit the audio first, so really need to. Yes, it is. Okay. Output. Hey guys, thanks for jumping on. I'm gonna mute it over here. I don't know if I can. You guys might hear some things from my computer because you're sitting right on my speakers. All right, let's hit this thing. Let's jump into this. Let's get it going. Ba-da-da. Good morning. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gearing Up. This is the podcast where we talk about everyday carry stuff and things, and it's Monday morning. And as you guys know, if you've been around for a little while, on Monday mornings we do live episodes. Normally they're recorded in my car, but because of quarantine and the pandemic, I don't know how much longer I need to say this part, but because of how things are and things are changing, I'm working from home, so there's no commute. So now you guys get to see my ugly face, and we get to, if you're on Instagram, if you're listening back on the channel, you can go to YouTube and search Gearing Up Podcast, and you guys can see what we've got going on here. I didn't wear my headphones last time, and it screwed me up. I think my levels are better now, so I'm going to take them off, but whew, wow. These puppies, they'll get you. They'll get you for sure. Anyways, I don't know if anybody's going to jump on. We're going to see. There's been some good conversation, but I've also been doing it a little later in the morning, and I'm doing it earlier today because my wife doesn't like when I work from home and do podcast stuff because, day job. So, yeah, bear with me on that. But again, if you guys are missing this, you can always go back. If you're missing the live, you can always go back and check out the video on YouTube, or you can listen back on the normal podcast feed. Either way, you'll be able to jump on and hear it back, so you don't have to watch live. But I wanted to talk about, I wanted to continue this conversation around inspiration. We've been doing, like the last 2 episodes, or 2.5-ish episodes, we've been doing some talk about inspiration. So I thought it would only be appropriate to not just talk about inspiration, but talk about my inspiration and some of the accounts that I like to follow, some of the accounts that kind of got me into the hobby, some of the non-hobby related accounts that I follow that are appropriate or just help feed my content creation. So I came up with a list, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people strong. No, that's not to say that there aren't other accounts that inspire me. That's not to say that there aren't accounts that maybe are newer that are really amping me up lately. But these are kind of the core, kind of 7 or 8 that I really credit a lot of my starting this and continuing this, and some of the changes that I've made over the years in how I create content and how I share content and stuff like that, all come from these accounts. And I think they're all accounts you guys should follow, obviously, because that's why I'm doing an episode on them. But before we get into that, what else is going on? I got a new bead. I know I do carry updates from time to time, but for those that are watching, you can go back and see my McBee now has a giant bead. It's a Scoopy Loops. Yeah, anyways. And then I also did some refinishing work on this Damascus, Texas. Ooh! Look at those colors. Brah. Anyways, so that's what's going on gear-wise. That's what I've been up to. Trying to think if I have anything else interesting coming in. No, I don't guess so. Yeah, so that's what's up. I hope everybody's week is starting off great. It's Monday, so plenty of time to whoop. I don't like that. That's right in my face. I mean, it's kind of the point, but sorry, I'm moving the mic around. There's still plenty of time to crush this week, and I hope you guys do. But without further ado, let's jump into the accounts that inspire me, and the accounts that kind of fuel my passion behind what I do. So, and this is in no particular order. This is not a 1 through 10, best worst kind of list. This is really, I'm actually just going to start at the bottom because it just makes more sense. And again, some of these are everyday carry related, some are not. The first one I'm going to mention is an account called Just Creatives. So I don't know when I stumbled on Jess's account, but Jess, Jess Creatives. So Jess is a web designer, YouTuber, Instagrammer, and it's not everyday carry related, obviously, but I followed her for a long time. I think I originally found her on YouTube, but she does weekly videos. She also has a podcast, and she's just really great at responding and going back and forth, and being a resource when I have questions or concerns. So just wanted to take a moment to shout her out because she's been really awesome and helpful, and I know that there's a lot of creators that are in the community that listen to this podcast or watch these lives back, and she does a lot of like health and nutrition and fitness websites, and I don't follow her for that. I follow her just because of the content that she puts out in terms of tips and tricks and website stuff and podcast stuff, and so I think it's a great account to follow if you are trying to grow your website, grow your brand, whatever the case. So check out Just Creatives. That's number, like I said, it's not in any order, but that's the first one I wanted to shout out. The next one, the most of these, all except one more, are everyday carry related, and most of you guys should follow them if you aren't already. But the next one that I wanted to shout out is Mr. Donnie Starco. I think that's his name. God, Donnie. I know it's Donnie. Houndstooth Zombie. Shout out. Huge inspiration. Absolutely love his style. His gear is insanely cool. Donnie's always got some really fresh stuff, and if you guys are not following him, you should be. I'm going to flip this around real quick so I can show the folks that are watching on the live. But this is his handle. And just look, I mean, just like, are you kidding me? Look at that. Jeez. Oh my God. Beautiful. Beautiful gear. Great, great vibes, great tones, all really consistent. Just incredible. Incredible gear, incredible pictures. Absolutely love his style. So Donnie is absolutely a huge inspiration and someone that gear-wise I kind of aspire. Stop. Anyways, I need to turn on Do Not Disturb. That's a thing. Oh, it's on. Oh, that's helpful. Yeah, so huge shout out to Houndstooth Zombie, Donnie. Your gear is killer. Your shots are killer. I just overall an account that I keep an eye on, just because I absolutely love the vibes, the style, all that stuff. So keep up the good work. The rest, and Donnie's really the only account that's just like we don't talk. I mean, I've messaged him before, but everybody else I kind of have I say everybody else. Most of these I have somewhat of a relationship with, just in terms of talking and messaging and all that stuff. And the next one is my buddy Tom Medvedich, Notorious EDC. He actually has two accounts that I follow. His account, his personal account, and then his EDC account, Notorious EDC, probably the one that you guys are all following. And Tom is just an incredible creator. He's got an insane history of success, and again, I can gloat on Tom all day. I mean, his work is incredible. His resume speaks for itself, just in terms of who he's worked with and what he's done over the past, and some of the shots that he's created. It's incredible seeing all of his posts pop up. So huge shout out to Tom. A continuous source of inspiration, motivation. He and I talk pretty regularly, so it's always cool to see what he's working on, and how he's involved with the community. And then if you guys aren't following his personal account, and he kind of keeps them separate. He doesn't. It's not that it's like a secret, but Tom Medvedich is his handle. And again, he just Tom being goofy and great shots of New York and stuff like that. Not necessarily everyday carry stuff, but there's a lot of samples of his photography and videography work on that page. So again, just a constant inspiration. And again, it's the shots are great, but also the person behind everything is great too. Tom does a really good job of offering a different perspective when I'm running into issues or concerns or whatever. It's always good to bounce ideas off of him. So I absolutely had to include Tom in this list. I keep thinking. Anyways, up next, a guy that I recently featured on the show. Oh, God, sorry, this pop filter is in my way, and I keep hitting it. So let me just. If you're listening back, that probably sounds awful. Recently, I had this guy on the show, Mr. Peter Young, Rambler Made, approaching 4,000. Dude, he's gonna hit 4,000 like this week. So congrats to Peter, but just an incredible marketing, branding genius, insanely talented leather worker, leather craftsman, Leatherman? No, that's not right. Anyways, Pete's work is fantastic. He's an insanely cool dude. And again, sort of like Tom, I mean, even if it's not, hey, Pete, can you make me this or that out of leather, which is sometimes the case, but, more often than not, it's just a quick chat. It's a, hey, Pete, what do you think of this? Can I get some input? Bouncing ideas off of one another, that kind of thing. It's been really good building a relationship with Peter and seeing him grow and seeing him share and all of that stuff. But in addition to that, just personally, it's been awesome to talk to him and share things with him and get his feedback and his input. And I mentioned this in the episode with him, but he's just really great at being open and honest and talking. And again, that's an inspiration as well. So a huge shout out to Peter and the work that he's doing. I feel like I'm rushing through these. I'm sorry if that's the case, or if you're... Maybe I need to do, should I do this? Is that better? I feel like that's more in my face. I don't know. Maybe, is that... Well, that's way quieter. Maybe I need to bump this up. How's this now? I'm checking levels while I'm recording. I'm sorry, guys. That's a little better. We'll do this. I can fix it later. I feel like I'm rushing through these. I promise I'm not trying to, but I don't want to spend too much time talking about each person, because then I get stuck and not give everybody a bunch of time. Next one, again, same thing with Tom, same thing with Peter. Raven the Pirate Sam has been a great friend. It's been awesome getting to know him. And and I mentioned this the other day when he and I were talking. I was like, dude, it's always great to get your perspective. He has a way, when we're talking, to kind of take my thoughts and spell them out better than I can. With regards to photography and photography. God, it's early. With photography, with creating in general, with Instagram, with that kind of stuff. He and I have spent a lot of time going back and forth about what's going on in the community, and anyways, I just a huge inspiration, a great friend, and someone that continues to push the envelope in terms of what's going on. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for jumping on. Oh God, I gotta forget I turned this up, so I'm trying not to get super close to it. So that you guys can see my face. See how that works? You can see my face, and you can hear me. Anyways. Yeah. Anyway, so Sam is, again, a great friend, a huge help when it comes to posting content and, working on ideas and bouncing stuff off of him. I very much appreciate him, and that's why, again, he's just a continued inspiration. So, just a quick recap for those that are jumping on, or if you're skipping ahead. I'm going through some of my inspiration. We've been talking a lot about inspiration and where that line is, and taking inspiration or taking ideas from other accounts. And so I wanted to share some of the accounts that really stick out to me. And just to run back through the ones so number one, Jess Creatives, Jess. Her name is Jess. Jess Creatives. She's not an EDC account, but a fantastic creator, great content creator, huge help. And she does a lot of stuff with websites, YouTube, and podcasts, which is why I follow her. Because a lot of what she does is not specific to the industries that she serves. A lot of it is generic enough that I find it useful. And a lot of the stuff you guys see me implementing here on Instagram, on the website, a lot of it stems from her. Anytime people ask me about certain things, if the idea came from her, I'm like, hey, go follow her. But Jess Creatives, Houndstooth Zombie, Donnie, just an insanely good creator. Great pictures, great content, all that stuff. And then the last few, Notorious EDC and Tom Medvedich. Tom's a great friend, and his content is it's good. It's insanely good. And then Rambler Made and Raven the Pirate. So those are kind of where we're at. I've got 3 more, so not a huge list. And like I said at the beginning, this is not an exhaustive list. This is not 110% of my inspiration comes from. This is not, obviously, I don't follow 8 people. I follow like 600. So, I think my inspiration comes from that feed of 600 people, but these are ones that I kind of go out of my way to make sure I see their content. And there's others, but these are the ones that, in addition to helping me and having a personal relationship with them, these are also ones that I credit some of what I do to these people. So I hope that makes sense. But these last 3, so 2 of them are EDC accounts, and 2 of them I consider to be absolute 100% OGs. And the first one we're going to talk about is Ryan, Slugger O'Toole _EDC. Slugger O'Toole EDC. A bro, a friend, absolutely hands down one of the best creators on the platform. His content is simple and very well executed. I think one of the things with Ryan is it's very much gear first. He does a really great job of really getting creative with the gear that he's got, and not taking it overboard. Like, Ryan's shots are, I can tell when it's a shot of Ryan's that hits my feed. He always does really interesting, really unique stuff, but at the same time, it's all, it's not overboard, where some creators kind of go a little crazy. And that's not always a bad thing, right? But Ryan's stuff is good. Great tones, great vibes, really great grid. He's really good at just kind of capturing colors and warm tones and stuff like that. And so, if you guys aren't already, I'm sorry, it's early. I can't talk. If you guys are not already following Ryan, you need to do so. He's an incredibly talented photographer, and his gear is just so good. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, full disclosure, 100%, Ryan, if you're listening, you are probably like 80% of the reason I decided to try a McBee. Like, no lie. And I'm clipping. Sorry, I gotta cut this back because I'm getting excited. um, but yeah, so Ryan is, and I can trace back to like Ryan was one of the first people I followed, and without a doubt, he was one of the first ones to like that I was like buying and selling with, and on almost regularly too. I would credit Ryan with introducing me to the secondary market. Shame on you, Ryan. You sent me down a rabbit hole. But anyways, yeah, if you guys are not following Ryan, go do that. Fix it right now. It is Slugger O'Toole _, an absolute beast, staple in the community. And if you like tattoos, like I mean, just go no further. Like, it's him. Anyways, that's enough of me oogling Ryan's account. Let me move on before I get too distracted. The next one, a very close friend of mine, someone that I will absolutely... So I credited Ryan with introducing me to the secondary market. I credit this person with introducing me to Everyday Carry as a whole. The Instagram Everyday Carry community. Let's say that. Let's be specific. And I've talked about this before on the show where this person introduced me and sent me down a rabbit hole thanks to tags and hashtags and fangirling. Yeah, no, I fangirl over Ryan's account all day. Like, great dude, great content. But this next one, great friend, super talented maker, and that is Cranky Hanky Co. You guys know I got a lot of handkerchiefs. You guys know that Cranky Hanky is an OG in my opinion. Carr is... I've talked about Carr on the blog. I've talked about Carr on the podcast, and without a doubt, a staple in the community. Absolutely great friend, and in terms of the stuff she's making, it's incredible. The content that she puts out, equally incredible. And the community that she's helped build, I would say, has just she's unstoppable. Like, absolutely a great friend, and also at the same time just an absolutely talented maker. For those that need handkerchiefs, like, this is where I send people. And the thing is sort of like leather makers, like there are an absurd amount of handkerchief makers in the community, and good ones at that. That's not to cut them down or say that they don't deserve their spot in the community, but I think Carr just, and I remember we went, my wife and I went to a bunch of garage sales. This was 2 years ago. Went to a bunch of garage sales, and I was at this one, and they had a bag of old fabric, and it was like vintage fabric. It was really cool. And I was like, I should get this and see if Carr would make some one-offs for me. And sure enough, she did. She was super cool about everything, but she just has a really great ability to see fabrics and patterns and colors and build some just amazing color combos. And it's one of the reasons why I continue to shop with her. And she also does some really great like themed ones, like she's like Star Wars and Mario, and I'm scrolling through her feed now and there's a Wu-Tang, like it's incredible. So anyways, enough oogling, fangirling, Carr's account, but absolutely a great friend and another constant source of inspiration. So, oh man, we've gone through 7 accounts. Let's talk about those 7 real quick. I'm just going to go back super quick because some people are jumping on. Jess Creatives, not an everyday carry account, but if you're looking for tips on Instagram, podcasting, websites, YouTube, whatever, she's a great resource. She's always good at really quickly responding. And again, anytime I have questions about the podcast or issues, things like hosting stuff, she's super, super friendly and super helpful. Houndstooth Zombie, Donnie, insane photographer, great skills, great gear. Love the vibes, I'm shamelessly try to be as good as him. The next few, Notorious EDC, Tom Medvedich, just an insanely good creator and photographer and videographer, but also a great friend. Tom and I talk regularly, and he's been a great source of inspiration and criticism as needed. He's been good whenever I bounce ideas out. He's like, maybe don't do that. Rambler Made, I had Peter on the podcast recently. Super fun to talk to, insanely talented marketer and brander, and in addition to that, just a great dude. Another guest of the pod, Sam Raven the Pirate, insanely talented. You guys know that. All of you should be following if you're not already. But in addition to being a great creator, we've built a great friendship, and it's awesome to chat with him, talk to him, bounce ideas off of him, that kind of thing. The other 2 that I've talked about, Slugger O'Toole, Ryan, just again a great friend and someone I would consider an OG, and then Cranky Hanky, another OG, and absolutely just a great friend. So there's 7 accounts. I think that was that 7? God, I gotta check my levels. I'm yelling now. Nah, these are fine. Anyways, it's Monday morning, folks. This is how we do. I gotta get rid of that. I don't need that. Whoa, I gotta get rid of that automation. Anyways, yeah. So those are some of the. Now there's one more, and there's one that I have not mentioned yet, and that's because if you guys want me to fangirl over someone, it's gonna be this guy. I grew up with. I'm not a big sports guy, and so a lot of people will have these sports figures as it's my hero. Yeah, I've never really had a hero. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyways, I pulled up his account, so I'm getting distracted. Never really had a hero, so to speak. At least not until I was, mid-20s. And it was this guy. So, for those that don't know, I lived in Austin for a couple of years, and then we moved to San Marcos and New Braunfels, which is a little bit further south. But while we were there was a guy that was on the radio. Ugh, God, you guys hear that? Ugh. There was a guy that was on the radio. His name was Bobby Bones. And he was a top 40 host, kind of a goofy DJ. And I just liked his show. So I listened to his show and started following along. And probably about 5 years ago now. Yeah, I think it was probably about 5 years ago. They announced they were leaving. They were leaving Austin and moving, and they were going to Nashville. And he was starting a country show, and now he has turned that into the largest country show, the largest show in the format for radio. But he doesn't just do radio. He does... He doesn't just do radio. He does TV stuff. He's written 2 books that are both sitting right over here on my shelf. I've read both of them. Both of them are signed copies because I'm that guy. Yeah, huge fan of this guy. And I think one of the, I don't know if you guys can see it. His last book was called Fail Until You Don't. That's what that sign right there says. It's small. You guys can't see it. And if you're listening on the podcast also, sorry. But he has just been a great source of motivation and inspiration. And the reason I say that is, like I said, I never really had someone to put. This sounds. I don't want to say that. It's like I think of like my dad or family members or coworkers or bosses that I've had in the past, and there were always people that believed in me and motivated me, and that I wanted to make proud. But when it comes to like an inspiration, this guy is the reason I have a podcast. He's the reason that I have continued a website. He's the reason that I'm putting as much work as I am into things like this show. And that's Bobby Bones, Mr. Bobby Bones on Instagram. He has over 1 million followers. You guys don't need to follow him if you don't want to, if you don't care. But I would recommend at least his most recent book. Like I said, it's called... I'm actually on my second read through of this thing, so... but it's called Fail Until You Don't. It's definitely a motivational book, but the reason that I recommend it is it's a great reminder, not just about like the fluffy, happy, do-good stuff, but like I posted on the podcast feed the other day, one of the titles of his chapters is, find people that tell you you suck. And that's been a really good thing for me. When it comes to just creating, whether it's pictures on Instagram or stuff for the podcast, or just life in general. Like, it's been helpful to take some of those pieces of advice and run with them. So that's why he makes the list. He is an outstanding inspiration, just a great content creator. And my God, why did I hit so... Wow, I must have really been yelling and excited. Oof, sorry. If you guys can't tell, this is a Monday morning episode and I'm tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep. We have a 3-month-old. Yeah, he's 3 months old, and he's been a great sleeper, but the last probably 2 or 3 nights, he has not wanted to sleep. So, that's it for my list. Do you guys, there's a few people on still. Before I close this up, do you guys have any input or suggestions or examples of folks that have motivated you that you want to shout out? It's okay if you don't. I just close this up and go take a nap. But yeah, anything else going on? I'm trying to think. This is another random episode. I'm just trying to stay sane. So those that have jumped on, thank you. Also, let's talk about some other stuff real quick. Recently, we hit another milestone on the podcast. We hit 6,000 downloads. Which, listen, when you think about it, the grand scheme of things, not really a huge number. Not really. There's some folks that do that in the first 10 minutes, if even. But the reason that's a big deal, so that's only counting when I started hosting here, which was, let me see when I started. So January. Any episodes from, I'll have to check them out, hang on. January. So for the last 7 months, that's, and it's really been the last probably 3 weeks where that number has gone from a smaller number to over 6,000. It's just crazy to think about. We're hitting anywhere from 500 to 1,000 downloads a week. So that number is going to go up, which is great. And, as I mentioned in the beginning of the last episode I uploaded, the more downloads and listens we have, the more support we have coming in, the more we can do on the show. So, man, I'm going about Sam's episode is still just crushing it. Yeah, so anyways, big fan of Southpaw Leather Goods and his personal account, Southpaw EDC. I'm pretty sure I follow Southpaw. Let me look. I don't know. I'm a fan of your leather goods and your work, so Southpaw. Southpaw. I wonder if he's left-handed. I don't follow his leather account. I'm pretty sure I follow his EDC though. Tony. No, I don't. What's wrong with me? Alright. Guys. It's early. I'm tired. But it is 8 a.m. and I have a day job to get to. Also, one quick note before we part ways. I have decided that this is the official uniform of the show. So I'm going to rock the black tee from now on. Just because, we got some bonkers edges. Yeah, if you want to talk about good edges, go follow, shout out, friends of the show, friends of the channel, if you will. Heights Leather Company. So the Heights is an area up in Houston. It's the Heights. I don't know. It's just like, it's the thing. You go to up in the Heights, Heights Leather Co. Based out of Houston. Super cool maker. Super cool dude in general. You want to talk about some edges? You want to talk about hashtag edge porn? Is that a thing that leather makers do? That's weird. You want to talk about edges? Look at this. I'm not even going to hit play. You don't even need me to hit play. Look at that. Look at that. Just candy. Big fan of Shell Cordovan. Insane. I mean, and he does some cool projects too. He does one every year. I don't think he did one this year, but he does one every year for the Masters, where it is like green and gold, which is pretty cool. He did a Porsche series. I have one of his leather coins that he makes, which is that's funny. A great leather maker, and when someone talks about edges, like that's the first account that comes to mind. Like, look at this. Just what is it? What even is that? So someone worth checking out, that's for sure. Anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'm coming up on... I'm going to put my headphones back on so I can hear this outro music and time everything accordingly. Is that the right side? Nope. All right. Whoa, I can hear myself now. How fun. Anyways, thank you guys again for the continued support. If you're not already, be sure to follow Gearing Up Podcast wherever you want, social media-wise. Be sure to subscribe. Go leave us a rating and go leave us a review. It takes you 30 seconds. I promise you it makes my day, and it helps us out a ton. And share an episode on your story. That's a cool thing to do. It's such a challenge. Excited to get there. Hit him up. I'm sure he's more than happy to help if that ever, if you ever need some input or advice. He's a super cool dude and always just kind of pushing the boundaries of what he's making. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys follow. Make sure you guys share. If you go on Spotify, you can share to Instagram stories, and it makes it really easy to click the link up here. So I highly recommend you guys go do that. Share an episode. Share your favorite episode. Doesn't have to be this one. Doesn't have to be a new one. Go back and just share when you can. Spread the love. Also, I will close it out by saying we have a merch shop open now. So this is all kind of experimental, but I did everything through Teespring. And Teespring's convenient because for me as a creator, I don't have the extra funds to just order 100 shirts. So I can upload my artwork, make the designs, and then kind of set the price within their margins. I don't make a whole lot. I make a couple bucks off of most of the things there. But I priced everything as low as I could, where I still make $1 or $2. So if you want a hoodie, a t-shirt, a sticker, a mug, whatever the case, I'm actually about to order a hoodie for myself. But there are Gearing Up hoodies and shirts. There are also pineapple hoodies and shirts and mugs and such. So there's work chiming in now. I gotta get to work. Anyways, go check out. So if you guys follow the link in my bio, I think the top link is YouTube. Click that and subscribe, because hey, who doesn't like seeing this face? And then I think right below that is merch. And again, total disclosure, like, again, Teespring handles everything. You click the order button, they print it, they package it, they ship it. If you run into issues, they, exchange or whatever. So I had a few people ask for stickers or shirts or hoodies or whatever. And so if you really want to rock the logo, support the show, I don't make a ton off of it, but I do make a couple bucks, and it 100% of that just goes right back into this. Hosting, producing, I'm looking at doing transcription, so deaf and hard of hearing, and then search engine optimization, like 2 things that I'm really trying to nail down on the back end. So that's where that money goes, full disclosure. And then obviously, if it gets to a point where I can buy stuff, like I'm gonna buy some stuff and we're gonna give it away. Like I'm not trying to make money off of this. It's just a passion project for me, at least for now. Now listen, we get into 100,000 downloads an episode, we'll talk. Yeah, I may may talk early retirement from my day job. Anyways, we're hitting the 40-minute mark. This is a long episode, and it's been rambling. But go back and make sure that you follow all those folks that I mentioned, and check out some of the good stuff that they're doing, and spread some of the love. And again, if you liked it a whole lot, go share this episode with your friends and talk about all the cool stuff. So let's cue that outro music. It's gonna pop in here any second. But thank you guys for continuing to support, continuing to jump on these lives and watch back and subscribe and follow and share and all that stuff. I cannot thank you enough. It's such a fun journey to be on, and I love the back and forth. Have a great week, have a great day, have a great Monday, whatever it is. We'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Peace. Are there people? I don't even need this anymore because it's stopped. Are there people that stick around on lives to get a little bit extra bonus content, like the post-show? Again, total ripoff from this guy that we talked about in the episode. They do a post-show, pre-show, because he posts they don't have a station in Houston, so, okay. Anyways, what am I saying? Anyways, they do, so that I listen back to the podcast. I don't actually, what is that? I don't actually listen live, and so they do, they stick around after the show officially ends, and they do 15 to 30 minutes of just chatting after the show, but then they put it before the show for the podcast, so it's called the post-show, pre-show. Anyways, it's a long story. Anyways, it's Monday, I'm tired, I'm finishing coffee. Thank you guys again, video folks, if you guys are still watching. Thank you. It's been a blast doing these. I'm going to continue doing them. I'm going to continue rocking black tees. Yeah, that's all I got. Go do some work. Stay busy. Stay healthy. Wash your hands. And, yeah. I guess that's it. Bye.